go. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today, Napoleon, wake up. Today is our 40th show. We've done 40. Oh, congratulations. Well done. He works so hard, doesn't he? Oh my Lord. So, last week with my senior school kids, we focused on trees. The grade 5s asked about trees, and then some of the boys said, can we then go on to landscapes? Now, I haven't done many landscapes in my time. I've done a lot of art, but the only landscapes that I have done, and Sam's my cameraman today. Thanks, Sam. Come in closer. Is there any glare on that, Sam? All right. Is line work. So this is our vineyard where I grew up near Ararat. So this is the only sort of landscape stuff I've done, but that's okay. It's good to learn new things. So the last few days I have been learning a lot of new things. So I went online and I found some different landscapes that had some foreground, middle ground and background. So foreground are the things that are all up very close, middle is the middle, and the background is either the sky and things. So when I went to school today to print, Mr. Sweeney was there, and our beautiful principal. These are some of the photos, 2 of them that he took at Uluru. So I thought these were gorgeous landscape photos. So what I have done is I have based mine, maybe just stay there, Sam, while I've got a few. So I went online and printed off some foreground, middle ground and background photographs just to get some inspiration. I think when you're learning to do landscapes, and I'm learning too, I rather go from a photograph. Later on you can make them up in your head. Remember, they don't have to be exactly like the photo. I just think it's a good place to start. Most of these, or this one is a lovely Australian one. Now, the next thing that I did was I photocopied them all in black and white, because when I'm learning to draw something, same with when I was teaching the kids to learn how to draw animals and things, I think it's easier to look in shapes and in black and white. So I photocopied these in black and white, and what we're going to do is we're going to look at it as shapes. So there's a dark shape here. We're going to mark out all the shapes, not really worry about detail until pretty much at the end, and that seemed to help me. So let's hope that it helped you. So look at this, it's much easier to see the different shapes and the dark contrast between the light and the dark when it's in black and white. You don't sort of get distracted by the colour. So I've done a few examples and then we'll have a go ourselves. Now, you know I'm not always one for realistic, so I had a bit of fun with a coloured one, random coloured one, and I think I might do a line one as well. So I'm just going to show you what I mean. So for this landscape here, and I'll hold it still. Sam, can you try and get it in the thing? So if you would like to do this one, you can pause the video now. And this is what I mean. I blocked out, I sort of drew the base shapes. It's trickier with the person in it, I think. I would just stick to landscape, but that's up to you. So that's what I did for that one. And let me show you a couple of steps further that I went. That's my coloured one. All right, so for this one, I really liked this photo here. Very Australian, and it reminded me a little bit of when we went to Gippsland on grade 5 camp. So that is the coloured one I did. Now this is the one that you need to pause on if you want to practice this one, is this. So the black and white, ready, pause. All right, so what I did first is I marked out the basic shapes. Now if you did my tree lesson last week, the tree will be so much easier for you. So you maybe have to go back and do the tree first. So see, I just took the main, oh, is that all right, Sam? Oh, balance, balance. The main lines, the main shapes to start with. Okay, so that's what I did to start with. And then this is where I went from there. This is a big jump, but I'll go through with you. It wasn't until the very end that then I added the detail. Now, in the photo, I just looked where the dark shapes were on the hills, and the tree was darker, so I blocked that out darker. I left the lighter areas at the front, and then at the very end I added the detail. But I found the black and white much easier to work on. All right, so let's do this one here. I've got a coloured version of that, I'll show you later. So this is another lovely Australian one. Beautiful colour, but this is the black and white. Alright, I'll hold up a few of the other ones. A lot of kids love drawing cactuses. I might hold that up later. Alright, now I'm just thinking, Sammy, I might go down the end again so you can go over my shoulder. I find that a bit easier. Napoleon, you stay where I... What about this stick you were playing with before? He's got his own glass of water now, ever since he's decided he likes to drink out of mine. Alright, so... remove all my pencils. Let's come around. Hold on, Nip. Alright, so let's come around here. Let's move you down that way. Hold on. Oh, this is fun. Okay. You're right down there. Hello. Nice to see you. Alright, paper, paper, paper. Here we go. Alright. Has that got a bit of a glare on it, Sammy? Maybe I could. Is that better if I put it up like sort of like that? All right, so let's block out just with a grey lead, the main shapes first. Now, when you've got this tree in the foreground, I leave that to last because that goes on top. So I'm just going to very lightly. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. We are not making another photograph of a photograph. This is just like your inspiration. Go up a bit. So I'm just looking at that main shape in the background here. And then I'll follow that line there. Oh, shivers and timbers. It's hard to look at the picture and your paper at the same time. But remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. That one goes down there a bit. Then there's sort of another line in here. And here down the forefront, there's a dark area where grass grows out of and a lighter area there. A bit of a bush shape there. There's a dark sort of patch in here. Yeah, all right. Then the clouds up here. Dark one down the bottom. Just really lightly mark it out at this stage. Now, let's put that tree back on top of here. Now, like last week, I always go just from the trunk first. It doesn't have to be perfectly, it's just to give you a bit of inspiration. I just find it easier to look at something, especially like this if we're trying to do landscape, than trying to make it up later on once you've drawn a few maybe. Now, there's another big side branch coming out here, a bit wonky. Remember what I said last week? Small branches come off the bigger ones, up the arm, to the side. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. This one comes out here. And we've got some branches sticking out up here. Oh, Nip, we just went for another walk. We'll have to start going for our walks after we film, not before we film, because otherwise you sleep through it all. Now, like last time, just lightly mark in where those, see here, these leaf shapes, see that there. I'm looking at that whole shape there, just as a shape. And then two little ones out here. Down here, there's sort of a bushy triangle there. One there. up here a little bit. We can always add later. Okay, so that is and there's a dark area in here, a really basic sort of blocking out of what's up here. Now it's all about shade and tone, shade and tint, the light and the dark. So I did go, when I was at school this morning, I got different pencils. I got HB, 2B, 4B, which would be a bit over this, but they're in the car right out on the street and I can't be bothered. So we're just going to go with the good old HB. So I sharpened it so we can use it on its side. Now this here, this mountain in the background is probably the darkest. So I'm just going to shade that in. It's darker on the top to the bottom, so I'm just going to go, there's any little shape, so we can even add those later. Now, I'm not going to put as much time into my demo one as the one that I have finished, because I'd rather you guys be spending your time having fun experimenting drawing than watching me. Seriously. Alright, I'm going to try and get some of that shape up the top because it's not totally flat. There's some little boom-de booms. One. Alright. Let me rise up. I always get songs in my head when I'm drawing. Here. It slopes down here. A bit lighter in the background. Alright. You can build up. It's easier to build up than take away. Now, oh, I loved the trees people sent me from last week. People were emailing me and saying, Miss M, this was the best tree I've ever drawn. Yeah, good for you. Giving it a go. Fabio did a few of the different shows and sent me work last week. Thanks, Fabio. No wonder his art is so fabulous. He just keeps at it. Keep practicing. Creating your own style. Remember, it doesn't have to be like everyone else's. But the more you practice, the more you create your own style. Now I'm sort of going darker on top. Alright, so that's that shape at the back there. Then there's sort of a light line, and then under here, this next one is even a little bit darker. So for darker, Sam, what do you think you do? Just push harder. Sam's girlfriend Chloe was filming yesterday. She got the giggles of it, I think. My foil lady dropped her dress. Scandal on the show nip. Scandal. All right. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm looking at, as I draw, I sort of look up. I teach this to the kids at school about looking up when you're drawing something from something more real, like either a still life or a photo. You look up, then you look down. Now there's a dark patch down here. Remember, we're just sort of blocking it out at the moment, and then we're going to build up. Keep checking your pencil. You might have to resharpen. There's 1, 2, 3 sort of darker little shadow spots there. Alright, down in front of the tree, it's sort of a lot medium there, and then it gets a bit darker. Again, just shapes. If you do a landscape, unless you put that photo right next to it, no one's going to know if you change it a bit. Seriously. Alright. The dark one. Oh, yes. Oh, back a bit. I get a bit overexcited sometimes. Careful of your tree, Miss M. Alright. This little bush sort of shape here, I'm trying to get, goes quite dark in next to the tree. And then over here, this sort of shadowy bit. Sort of good when it's not too clear as well, because you really just are looking at the different shapes and shadows. Alright, medium over here, light section in here. Alright, now the cloud. Whoa! Nip, you should have been there to catch that for me. Alright, so let's give this cloud a go on the side again. Again, just doing the shading for now. You really want to have it flat because you don't want too many lines. Pushing harder when you want these darker areas. I can see there's a darker line and I had a lot of fun doing this same picture, and I'll show you in a minute, with just random colour. It was not even a sunset, it was just me using random colours. Now, if you swirl your pencil around, you get those softer edges. Right, it goes all the way in behind the tree. You can do the tree back over it later. And up here, there's a little bit darker in the corner. How your arms, Sam? It's a workout being my cameraman or woman. Alright. Alright. So, there's a little bit of cloud here. Now, let's start doing a bit more detail. So with the tree, we can draw back on top. Why have I got that gap there? It's meant to go all the way. It's quite dark just there. Alright, so let's draw the tree on top. Get a bit of outline going. Now, here along the inside of the tree is a bit darker, so I'll just shade that a little bit. Come back. Good thing is they're sort of not perfectly straight. Push down when you want it darker. You can draw the grass back over that next time. Now this branch that's behind is darker, so I'm just going to push flat on that. Now last time I went back, I keep looking up and some of these split even again, and there's another branch coming out over this one. This one goes in behind, like that. Up here. Now for the leaves, they're sort of in the tufts. So again, on the side, having a look at the different shapes, just doing that to start with, and then we can draw some detail in later on. You're just trying to get the general shape of the tufts as they go in and out. Small little in behind, over here, there's a little one here. I want to do it a bit darker than the clouds so it sits in front. Well, it is darker. And here you can see some branch right here. A bit out, goes all the way out here. Oh gosh, it runs out quick. Looks just a bit like scribble, doesn't it? But when you stand back, Sam, no judgment yet. Okay, I draw that a little bit now. I would love, you can use these photos here, or you can just go on your iPad or your computer and find any that you would like to draw yourself and just use this method. Type in black and white landscape photos. Oh, see, I'm going in a hurry now. I'll just breathe because I don't want to keep you too long. A little bit more. You could always fast forward this. I should learn. On one of them I did do a bit of that. What's that fast where you film it and it speeds up, Sam? Can't remember. Alright. Sam's shy. Alright. Down here. So I'm going over here. Not just sit in front. So push a bit darker. Now there, in these leaf shapes, there are some areas, like that little bit in here is darker. Depending where the light's shining and how dense it is. Oh, it's taking a bit long, Sam. So what I might do is get my other one and show you what it's like with more detail. All right, so that's the medium one where you've sort of blocked it out more, and then this is when I've gone and done more detail then back on top. Concentrating on the area, see in here is very dark, so I went back in there and made it dark. This bush here is dark. Up on there is dark. The tree is darker, so it stands out from there and there. That's sort of medium, that's light. Medium light. I could have probably just added a bit more contrast to the middle ground there. Okay, like that. So it's sort of light, medium, dark. Now, I had a bit of fun with the colour one I decided, because you don't always have to be realistic, I did the same sort of, it's very abstract. That's okay. So it's not even a sunset, I just ended up having some fun. I blocked out the mountains, I blocked out a few of the areas, I put the tree on top, and then I just had some fun with the different lines on top of that. You could even, like my other one, excuse me, now my water's too far away. Nip, bring the water over. Bring me the water. Come on. All right, so you could even do with texture. Probably want to go in grey lead first, but if you want to do just a line one, stop for the tree, because the tree is going to be actually going in front of that. Again, just blocking out the shapes. Okay, and there's a darker in here, and then you could use line, like all these wonderful grass here. So what I'm saying to you is I would like you to experiment yourself. I think the first easy way is with grey lead, and then move on to try other things. So the grey lead one is probably the easy one from there. All right, so let me just hold up a few. There's an American one, and I know people like cactuses. Kids love cactuses at the moment. So I'll hold up my black and white cactuses if that's probably the ones. All right, I'll come back around, Sam. Oh, Napoleon. Working hard. Okay. So, oh, hello. So this one, Napoleon, do you like that one? Whatever. So this is a good shape one. We'll pause if you want to do that one. Oh, where's my cactus one? I thought that would have been a really good one to do, she says. Oh, you can just have to maybe Google. I think I've got too many sheets of paper now, Sam. I have to Google cactuses. Alright, I do have it here. All I wanted to show you was, though, that we had foreground in it. But, oh, Miss Sam's chaos. Aha, oh, that's the coloured one. There's the coloured one there. I had a good black and white one. It's got the 4 in the middle and the background. All right, so thank you grade 5s for suggesting landscapes, because it's not something that I naturally am drawn to, but I actually really enjoyed it. And my theory is, if I have fun with it, I think you will too. Give it a go. Remember, just give it a go. I put it off, and then when I actually started, I really enjoyed it. So, thank you for joining Napoleon and I for our 40th show. Yeah. And say goodbye. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.